Hey everybody, welcome to It's a Love Thing. Welcome back to the channel. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave pops a heart down in the comments so that I know that you made it, because it's all love over here. So today, as you can see from the title, today is Monday, June 9th, and it is a work from home day for me. I typically work from home on Mondays and Fridays. Sometimes it may be a little change, but typically that's the cadence of the week. So as agreed, I said, well, you know what? I'm already working from home, so I'll record and I'll bring you guys along with me for some of my day. Back up a little bit. So I am a regional manager. I am in the energy industry. I had a slight career change. It's been 3 years now, where I went from the gas side of the energy industry to power and transmission, substations, things like that, power distribution. So we'll get more into that in another video, but I manage a team across, so I'm assigned a region, and what the company considers our Southeast region, and it consists of 3 different offices that's broken up in the region. I manage 14 employees, kind of more on the lines of, analysts, that be it if it's cost, finance, and anything from materials and things like that is very broad, right? So in that, it makes for a very interesting day. Not only being responsible for a team, but having my own deadlines as well. My team's work feeds into me doing what I have to do for reports and then things like that. Typically, a regular routine day, I start at 6 a.m. I have a standing region call that we all are on at 7. So I typically start my day about 6 so that I can, I'll check emails, ensure that there's nothing last minute that's been put on my calendar or anything changes that I may need to update. My deadlines is always going to vary depending on what time of the month it is, and then also too, there's one-offs kind of in between, which are always fluctuating. So I only share that to say it's very fast paced, which makes sure that I have to be extremely organized, right? So that's the point of always being in tune with my emails, with my calendars and deadlines and things like that. There's weekly, bi-weekly, and then there's some monthly deadlines. So I have that standing everyday call at 7. There's calls that I have that's standing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There's standing calls that I have on Wednesdays and Fridays, and it all varies, right? And thank you for Google Calendar that'll automatically, and if you don't use it, you should. It'll send you alerts where you can set the alert for whenever you need it. I typically will have it give me an alert the day before, and then again that same alert 2 hours before whatever that is. And I use that for deadlines for my reporting and action items that I have to do, as well as the meetings. I think that kind of, that helps me out. And while I'll talk because I'm a little, I got to make sure I get a report done. So I'll talk with you guys as I'm working. There's reports that I have to do. Some are daily, some are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I got some Friday reports. So I'm just trying to give you a structure. It's structured, but it varies depending on the day of the week. It is so having that said, I had, when I did my Sunday reset, if you haven't saw it already, be sure to check it out for me. That is that's my reason. What I'm sharing now is my reason for making sure that I try to get an idea at the beginning of the week, so I can kind of prepare. Sometimes it'll vary with how many meetings that I have, and then naturally, if I have more meetings than normal, it will impede on my time that I have to actually do my work. So there has been cases where I've had to do some work the night before because I just had too many meetings in there, and I just wouldn't have had any time. Speaking of that, I'm gonna have a day like that on Wednesday. I have several meetings back to back, and for my reports that's due on Wednesday, if I didn't do them the night before, it's a possibility that I might, either be late or not have everything that I need. So that's going to be one of those times that I'm going to have to, the night before, complete some work, or get up a little earlier than 6, which I'm not a fan of, and do get it done then. I'll probably end up doing it the night before and scheduling for them to go out at that time, and it'll be out the way. So typically my calls and meetings are morning heavy or early afternoon. It's rare that I have any meetings. It's very one-off. If it'll be anything past 1 or 2 o'clock, which is kind of good. It makes for a very busy morning, but at least kind of the afternoon, I can kind of wind down and get my work out the way, or check on my team or something like that. I don't have a time in which I kind of take a lunch, and I'm working on that, family, where especially when I'm working from home, where it's a lot of days I don't step away enough or step back enough to eat and take a lunch during the day, and the wife will fuss at me quite a bit about that. It's times I'll go into the office, I come home, and it's like, oh shoot, I haven't even eaten all day. I've only had a cup of coffee. So I am working on that. That's not healthy, and it's not. It shouldn't be, right? So I am working on that. So I don't have a set time that I do that I take a lunch, but I try to make sure that I do take one. And then when I do, it's typically around the 1 o'clock time, which is it's late, but it's a time that kind of works. So after the lunch, after I try to eat something, I'll do a check-in with my team. Normally it's team messaging, or sometimes I'll have team calls as a check-in twice a week. There's no way that I can be in, like I say, I manage 3 different offices across this region. I can only be in one space at a time, but I do make sure that my team knows that wherever I am, you have access to me. I have those check-ins to make sure that they know that I'm there. So once I have those afternoon check-ins with my team, I will. That's a real crunch time for me, where I really, really focus on my personal action items and things that I have to do to make sure that I meet my deadlines. I do one other thing that I would like to share that's really important is I do calendar blocking, and I do it in hour increments. So I set block time in my calendar that will send me an alert to say, hey, Pops, from this time to this time, this is what you need to be working on. That way I don't even have to think about it. So when you hear me mention I'm preparing for the next day, or I'm doing a reset for the week, that's what I'm aligning. I'm aligning my calendar to ensure to say, hey, okay, you got Mike Pops, you got this action item from on Friday, right? If there's 2 or 3 things that lead into that, I ensure that I'm doing a calendar block however many days that I need to make sure that I'm focused on that to make sure that I meet the deadline. It works for me. I try. I was I had a little system a little different before where I was old school, right? I was old school pen to paper, so I would write it all out. But what I found was that I didn't always go back and really thoroughly read through my notes. Um, I'm grateful that it wasn't any situations where it caused a big of an issue where I was able to catch it, but it happened enough to where I realized that I had to change that routine. So the calendar blocking does work for me. It has been extremely a good tool to use to ensure that I don't miss anything. So it takes a little extra prep work in the beginning, but you get used to it. Then after that, my day typically will end. Good day, perfect scenario, 4 o'clock. 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere up in there. I do have that I'm grateful to have that flexibility where if there's something that I need to do in between those times, I can make those adjustments in between to handle what I need to handle. And just as long as I, get things done and don't miss any deadlines, everything is well. So I'm grateful for that flexibility. It does come in handy for the personal life. So I'm grateful for that. And I don't, because of the industry that I'm in, there are one-off situations where it's like an on-call type of situation, right? So if something really breaks or something really happened, I will be responsible to work. Those times I don't have to go into the office or go into a particular location, so that is good. But I will be required to work in those situations. So it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen a lot or all the time, but it does happen, and it just comes with the job, in which I'm grateful for. So, and that's really typically it. I try to structure my time to have good work-life balance. Sometimes depending on the month, like towards the month end, there's, as far as the finances of my department, there's certain things that require extra work. So for month end close, things like that, my days can typically be a little longer, but not a lot. Maybe if I might have 2 or 3 days during that last week where I might have to work until 5:30, or I'll stop working and do what I need to do or hang out with the family, and then take an hour or two later on in the evening to finish up what I need to finish up. But as long as I plan right and stay ahead of the game and knowing what's coming down the pipe, I generally don't have any of those issues. So that's a realistic, typical day for me. Organization is really important, and just making sure that because I do have to. I'm responsible for a team that's in 3 different places, and they're anywhere between a good 20 and 30 miles apart. I do make sure that I stay in contact with them and know that I'm here at any given point. So all has been well. I'm really, really blessed and fortunate and enjoy what I do. I absolutely love my team, and it is reciprocated. So, and it shows in how well we work together. We have an awesome working relationship. So no issues there. I'm really, really, really blessed and fortunate in that space, and glad that I decided to take the slight career change, right? And I'll share more of that in another video, go into more detail. But I just wanted to come on here and give a realistic, like, work from home day in the life. I've gotten that a whole lot over the years. Like, Pops, what do you do? I've heard that a lot. So, timing is everything. So I figure, what, now is a good time for me to share those things, and what I can naturally. I share those things with my family, and go from there, answer any questions what I have. But this is a typical Monday and Friday for me. Days that I am in the office, I will be bringing you guys with me as well, and hopefully you're enjoying. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love and blessings to you and yours, and Pops is out.